Hi everyone, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining me for another of our Torah studies together. We've got the news, which I'm going to put to the side, and take our Torah, our Tanakh, and then we got my kippot. I'm going to put on, the Star Wars one for the day, or for the studying. There we go. Slide that clip in. Cool. All right. Before we begin, we say our prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commanding us to engage with words of Torah. We have a very special Torah portion today because it is the final Torah portion in the book of Numbers. Next week we'll start the book of Deuteronomy. There's a special, it's not really a prayer, there's a special phrase that you say when you finish a book of Torah, and I will teach you that later. Maybe you'll remember it from before when we finished the book of Leviticus earlier. Anyway, so we're going to read from chapter 32. The Reubenites and the Gadites owned cattle in very great numbers. Noting that the lands of Yazer and Gilead were a region suitable for cattle, the Gadites and Reubenites went to Moses, Eleazar the priest, and the chieftains of the community and said, the land that the Lord has conquered for the community of Israel is cattle country, and your servants have cattle. It would be a favor to us, they continued, if this land were given to your servants as a holding. Do not move us across the Jordan River. Moses replied, Are your brothers to go to war while you stay here? Why will you turn the minds of Israelites from crossing into the land that the Lord has given you? That is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to survey the land. If you remember the story of the 12 spies, and 10 of them came back and didn't think they could take the land, and that's why the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years. Yeah. And then he just kind of retells that story, which I don't need to read that here for you. There we go. And now you, a breed of sinful men, have replaced your fathers to add still further to the Lord's wrath against Israel. If you turn away from God, and God abandons them once more in the wilderness, you will bring calamity upon all your people. So what Moses is saying is, you're repeating these past mistakes that we've already made. And if you do that, we already got a second chance, we may not get a third chance. Then they stepped up to him and said, We will build here sheepfolds for our flocks and towns for our children. And we will create troops in the vanguard of the Israelites until we have established them in their home, while our children stay in the towns because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until every one of the Israelites is in possession of their portion. But we will not have a share with them in the territory beyond the Jordan River, for we have received our share on the eastern side. So that's that. Just to put it in other words, what they're saying is, we would like to live in this land, which nowadays we call the West Bank, but it's land that's not exactly within Israel. And these two tribes say, this land is the land that we want to live in because it has what we need, because they're cattle farmers. And then Moses says, okay, but we still have to conquer the rest of the land. And if you abandon us, that would be really shameful and very bad and reflect poorly on you. And God would then punish everyone. And so those tribes say, good point. Okay, we're going to settle here. We're going to leave our children here. We're going to build houses here. And we're going to get some of the men, because that's who fought back then. We're going to get some of our adult men and send them with you into the land of Israel to help conquer it and take it for all the other tribes, so that everyone will be able to get the land that they're supposed to get. And they say that the men who they send in aren't going to be able to come back home until everyone has what they need to have. So they make this compromise of, we get this land that we're already in, and we help everyone else get the rest of the land. And I think that's a very clear and pretty straightforward lesson, which is if you're in a group of people, and we all know, if you're in a group of people, you can achieve more than if you're on your own. But if you're in a group of people and they want to get to here, and you only want to get to here, if you get here and then you abandon them, you aren't really being a good team player. And they're going to be resentful for you, and there may be negative consequences for you, maybe socially, maybe politically, maybe spiritually, whatever. But if you continue to work together and say, yeah, I got mine, but you don't have yours is over here, and I'm going to help you get there, then that is sort of the ideal version of teamwork. Even if we all have different goals, we all have to work together until everyone has achieved their goals. You can't work together until you get what you want and then stop. That isn't fair. So that's that. Now we're going to listen to some Misha Berach, which I did not get ready yet, of course, because I forgot. History, here we go. So think about a kind of person who you know who maybe needs some help, needs some support. Maybe think of a situation that you're in where you are being supported by people and how you can pay that back to them. Or, again, this is a song for healing. So if you know someone who is sick, whether with coronavirus or something else, this is a good time to think about them and reflect on them and hope they get better. So, any one of those things. But it's always good, at least once a week, to sit in a little bit of silence with our thoughts and our hopes and just be with them. Oops. An ad. There we go. Always something. Okie doke. So as I said, it's a special week for us because we actually finished the book of Numbers, which means that there's a special saying that we all say. It'll be, and I'll explain what it is next, but it's just 2 words, and you repeat 2 of them. So it's 3 words, but 2. You'll see. It's fine. Chazak, chazak, v'nitz chazak. So, because we finished the book of the Torah, we say chazak, chazak, v'nitz chazak, which means let us be strong, let us be strong, and let us strengthen others as well. Which I think fits in very nicely with the lesson of this portion, which is work together and we'll be strong and we can strengthen each other. So that's it. Shabbat Shalom, be healthy, and I hope you're finding good ways to keep yourself occupied. If you want to chat about this portion or anything else, feel free to email me at the Jewish Life email. Also, we have a Torah study over Zoom tomorrow, Saturday, at 4. So if you see this video before that time and you want to join and you don't have the Zoom link, again, email me at the Jewish Life email address and I will get it to you. All right, Shabbat Shalom, and take care, everyone.